What's up guys, it's Sean and welcome back to the iherng podcast, and this one is filmed in Singapore Park Royal Collection Marina Bay. The view is amazing, the architecture is amazing. But anyway, today we will answer a question from email. This is from Kevin. Dear Sean, I like listening to your show as your advice makes a lot of sense to me and I find them to be generally good advice to follow. I am a 50-year-old divorcee and my son is currently taking his Form 5. I plan to send him over to Australia to further his degree studies. I am currently living in a landed corner lot in Puchong, still servicing the loan, and I own a leasehold 99 years apartment in Taman Dagang, Ampang, which I bought in 2002 and it has about 78 years to go. It is an apartment within walking distance to eateries, shops and even LRT. Except during the height of COVID, I am able to rent out the property within a few months of dormancy and can fetch rental around 1,500 plus or minus, as this is the going rate for the surrounding area. This property has been fully settled. The latest check with iProperty indicates the asking selling price between 340,000 to 380,000. I bought this unit at 100 at 42,000. I do not have enough money to finance my son's university education and I'm thinking of either selling this property or refinancing the property to get the money. Which one would be a better choice? If the property was freehold, I would not be having this dilemma. So, on one hand, I worry property value may drop as the lease come closer to expiry and also rental rates might follow. On the other hand, I am not even sure I am able to get a refinancing loan at my age and if it is even worth it. Due to my divorce, I have been struggling with my finances up till now. Apart from my landed property loan and a car loan which I am servicing, the other only major debt I have is one credit card, of which I am confident of fully clearing by the end of the year. Would love to hear your thoughts on my situation. Regards. You see, parents' love towards their children, right? And the amount of sacrifice. After being a father, I can totally relate. Well, this is like 17 years down the road, so I got another 15 more years to reach this state. But anyway, let's just recap the entire conversation again. A 50-year-old gentleman is a divorcee and the son is taking his Form 5. He is going to send his kid to Australia, so he needs money lah. So one house landed corner lot which still have loan, another apartment in Ampang fully paid off already, left 78 more years within the lease, bought at 142, market price is around 340 to 380. Let's just make it 350, okay? Bought 142, market price is 350. And the main concern is to refinance the property or to sell the property. So what would be my take? As the property now is actually renting out at 1,500 ringgit per month. So the main question here, your kid is 17 SPM this year. So by the time he goes to A-levels, right? Then he will only go to Australia after maybe a SAM, which is the matriculation program, right? Only he will go over. So I guess you're gonna need around 100,000 Aussie, I think. I'm so foreign to this because this was the entire reason why I started my real estate journey anyway. It was to finance my study in Melbourne actually, but after I make some sales then I don't want to go already lah. Because clearly I understood after putting in all the effort, when I come back to work I will never ever break even, but that's a whole different story altogether, right? So now as a father, you want to honor the duty of being a father, full respect. So now let's just discuss whether to refinance or sell the apartment first, okay? If you were to sell, you will have around 350,000 saved lah, right? Don't push 380, but let's say you want fast 350, you sell, you will get the money within 6 to 9 months time because it's a leasehold property. It will require extra 2 to 3 months time for the state consent. So for that, it's very clear cut. Instantly, you get your money, settle, send him to school, case closed. The other way is to refinance. So let's say the market valuation is 380 to 400,000. Okay, market valuation 400,000. Your refinancing can go up to 80% usually on 400,000, so you get around 320,000 in liquid cash. However, you are right, it depends on your age, it depends on your current income and credit scores or whatsoever, but it looks like you are still working, so I don't think it's a problem as we can go up to 70, some banks go up to 75 years. So if you were to go max out on refinancing, you will get 320,000 in liquid cash and you will need to start serving this housing loan. And let's say if it's a 20 years loan, I have never calculated 20 years before. Always is 30 or 35 years. So let me do a real quick check. So now I am at Property Guru loan amount 320,000, interest rate maybe 4%, 20 years. Calculate monthly mortgage. 1939 per month. Every month for the next 20 years, you will need to pay 1,009 per month, including your maintenance, then 2,000. So with your current rental, you will need to pay extra 500, but you get to keep the ownership of the property, and that might serve your retirement, and that might serve your nest egg, because it feels like maybe you want to silang all in for your kid, with the possibility that after he goes to Australia, he might not want to come back. And that's a different segment again. So this is one possibility. The other possibility is you don't cash out as much. You reverse calculate, tell the banker, hey, I want to refinance an amount where every month I only need to pay 1,005, which is the rental. So I just assume maybe it's around 250,000 or 230,000. You get 230,000 in liquid cash, and you use this as an education fund for your kid while the property still self-sustained, so you won't have extra burden on top of your car loan and your existing landed property loan. That will be a better strategy, I think, if you want to do refinancing. Now the main difference between these two, between selling or refinancing, will be two things: the property potential of the property and your strategy for your old age. So one, the property, let's just say leasehold, now left 78 years, and the value will only truly drop when it reaches around 60 years. And the main reason why is it's very challenging for banks to provide loan on properties with 60 years of lease left. It's not that they will not, but they will try to increase the interest rate, so it's more gambling lah. The things are just not as nice, and that will restrict a lot of potential buyers for the property. Hence, when demand actually drop, the prices will drop as well. But not necessarily the rental. The rental has nothing much to do with the selling price of the property actually. So indirectly, if you were to keep the property, sooner or later it will be your son's problem instead. It means, let's say when the property is left with 28 years or 20 years, then maybe your kid in Australia need to come back and settle this when you are no longer around. So it's not exactly a concern, because let's say 1,005 and it will remain 1,005 for the rental for the remaining years to come. But of course you need to do maintenance, like every year you need to chop a bit here, then every maybe 8 to 10 years you need to refurbish a little bit. And 1,005 a month is actually 18,000 a year. That's a lot of money, and it will be very useful when you choose to retire. Which is point number 2. I am not too sure whether do you have a business or are you under employment. If you have a business, then I would suggest to just refinance, to hold on to the ownership instead, as the income will be pretty certain, because if you were to retire, nothing to do also, so at least you can maintain the property, and at 1,005 every month is actually quite helpful, and it's paid off. So this is one concept where I don't entirely agree. Yes, some people are very fearful of loans and commitments, but in another perspective is dead money. Well, it's also a nest egg lah, so it depends how you call it. In my perspective, as I have a lot of access to different deals, the capital will become very, very useful. But if you don't know what to do with it, then I guess it's fine. Then you need to compare between putting the money in a property that you are not even confident that it will increase in price, versus putting the money in your EPF, putting the money in FD where the interest is rather high now, so it's actually okay, or you put into some blue chips or whatsoever. That's a decision that a lot of people within your 40s or 50s or 60s right, need to really think about. You have a lot of money located anywhere and they are just lazy, dead money sitting around. And I really believe that money is only valuable when it flows. So my perspective is this: even if your kid, maybe he don't want to go to Australia, maybe he just want to finish his education here in Malaysia until his degree or his masters, or maybe just have a conversation with him first. Yes, Malaysia's education might not be very convincing, but for private institution, in the variable of personality, like personally, I'm a fully homegrown talent. Call myself talent, but I'm a fully homegrown Malaysian and I'm proud of it. And based on my experience within public listed companies, initially when they step into the working industry, there will be some differences within the starting salary, maybe like 300, 400. But it doesn't really matter ultimately after 3 to 5 years. It doesn't really matter like you have Australian education or you have Malaysian degree that is associated with their Australia branch or whatsoever. Ultimately, can you perform at work, which is the most important thing. Unless he wants to settle, get a job, start a family in Australia, whole different story. And this need to be debated within yourself. Like, it's definitely a very cool thing, a very honorable thing, trying to provide the best for our children. I truly respect that. But is it what I want? You know, right? After I put in everything, I cash out everything, I don't mind working until I die with the intention of providing the best to you, but end up he tak mau. Your kid actually don't want to go. Actually, I want to stay with you, Papa. You are alone already, and I really want to be next to you. At least we can have dinner together. After you're so old already, still eat dinner alone, meh? Let me just hang out around. I will figure out ways for my education. I guess that's a more important thing to do. But whether he wants to go to Australia or not, right? Whether you need the money or not, do think about the value stored within that apartment. Yes, it's very easy as it's fully paid off now, but do think about, is there a better place to store your money? And that's a big question that a lot of people should also think about. FD versus stock, provided you know what to do. Stock versus gold, provided you know what to do. Property, very good, meh? Provided if you know what to do. And one more thing to add on here, refinancing differs in accordance to bank. Some banks will give you higher rate of refinancing. So 80% is the standard, very safe, I can put on video kind of rate. Some goes 90, depending on your profile. Some goes 70, like if you don't pay things on time, right? They might consider not to give you also. Then when some banks don't approve, personally I refinance my property under AIA. I'll put my friend's contact here below, Miss Catherine, right? So she helped me refinance 2 of my properties already, because the first round, I was in desperate mode. My income was bad. Banks do not want to help me refinance. So she came in assistance and we got it, and that helped my situation a lot. And now I'm actually playing the offensive game, refinance my apartment where the rental can cover the installment and I get a bulk of cash. And I just recently parked into a sub-sale property somewhere, which I will announce soon enough. And that's my game now. So coming back to you, Mr. Kevin, few things. One is to have that conversation with your son, right? Yes, maybe you can study matriculation here, then only to finish up your degree. If okay, then only you want to go to Australia. Sometimes sending kids to another country, you don't need the full 3 years, or maybe it's just an exchange program, just to feel the culture a little bit, maybe 1 year, and that saves a lot of money. Why send him to be independent when after the graduation he still come back and stay at home? Actually same thing one. So I don't really understand when I look at my peers. Oh, I learned how to be independent when I stay alone in uni, but come back you just stay with your old folks. Like what? You don't do your own laundry anyway. Then after having that conversation, that will dictate whether do you want to sell the property or refinance the apartment. If you want clean cut, just sell, then don't have to think about it anyway. But this money then put where? Maybe I would suggest to clear off some of your landed properties so your monthly burden will be less. Then you will have more time to spend with your son who is stepping into adulthood. That might be another way of showing love also. But if you want to play a bigger game, you want to be ambitious, I want to own the property, right? Maybe not full refinancing, maybe refinance to an amount where the rental can cover installment. So you can cash out that amount, then use that for education or use that to put into other form of investment. But it's absolutely fine if you don't want to refinance, right? It's not a must. And this is where the risk appetite of each other must be clarified. Are you comfortable with loans? Stated in the email that you are pretty affected by the divorcee, saying that your financial planning not so good, right? But you have a fully paid apartment with a landed property with a confidence to clear off credit card. I think it's okay though. So have some faith, have some confidence in yourself. Maybe push your kid to apply some scholarship first. No need to so kanjong, send them out one. I know, again, the need to provide the best. But what's more important, is it what they want really? No need Australia one, maybe like now in Singapore also very good man. The exchange rate currently for Sing dollar is actually higher than Aussie dollar. Walao, cross a bridge only. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my work. I hope this clarifies some doubt within your thinking process, and I appreciate your email a lot. So it's an inspiration to be a father like you also. Well, property comes in very useful in moments like this. But anyway, for those who still have any questions regarding real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram, iherng, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'm going to an Oppo launch event. Ciao.